report. It is December 29th, 2024. Thanks so much for being here. I had loaded up a video onto PrepperNow, but it is currently not being extended the good graces of Borg and his friends, if you will. So read into that what you will. So I think what I'm going to do is when I'm done, I'm going to upload that to the green video maker. And then from there, we'll do a live stream on PrepperNow. So it's a critical one. That's why it is sensitive. So, you know, I mean, it's from major news sources, and there's just been some, well, I'm not going to get into it. But it's pretty critical, and it could mean some very interesting developments if it is true or something like it. And I provide even a counter on it. And I'm just going to stop it right there because I can't get any more, nebulous and aloof without giving it away. And I'm not trying to do that to create some kind of an area of mystique. So you guys go there and it's some BS video. But it's was sent to me by a person that is in the Middle East and does reputable things. This person knows who they are. I'm not going to out them or anything, but let's just say when I get stuff from them and I get things, it's legit. So we will get, and if actually my members on Subscribestar and Locals, it was the first story I put up today. If you need to kind of give it away, it's the first thing I posted today. So I'll stop there. But yeah, this one is called Plane Crashes Galore. Not to laugh at that, but there has been a just spate of major issues with airlines. There was another Korean airliner that had a similar problem to the Jeju Airlines that unfortunately looks like almost all but 2 people have passed away in that. It had a bird strike and then had suffered a problem with its landing gear, landed on its belly, and then for some reason, I don't know why you would have a cement structure at the end of this runway, but they had a cement structure and the thing struck it, and basically that was it for most of the people. Popular preparedness or a popular report said it. I travel. I've been on multiple airlines. I'm actually got a big thing going on in June. I'm not going to release where I'm going yet, but it's our big Christmas present. As you know, I like to travel internationally as well. But when you get the chance, I like to sit in the back of an airplane. I always have. Because if something's going down, it just, think of physics. Think of what's going on with a plane. If you're up towards the front and this thing sucker, goes in with its nose, if you're in the first part of it, I'd imagine you're going to take the brunt of the force. And so I've always tried to sit towards the back for numerous reasons. So, yeah, maybe if you're flying, if you do fly, that might be a wise thing to do. But anyway, let's, no, we're not going to Iceland. We did that in 2023, Gene. But I will tell you this. It will be in the continent of Europe. But I'm not going to leave it. I won't give it away yet. We just surprised my children with it. I'm trying to turn them into more like travelers and get them. We don't like to get a lot of crap for Christmas. We're trying to get away from stuff, and we're trying to give them valuable experience. So we did a lot for sports ball and all that and experiences there. But we do basically our big gift now is turned into travel. And let's just say we rode some bad news about a month ago that made the airline tickets go way down in price. And I have picked up a pretty solid deal on an international travel, but we'll get into that. So anyway, lovely for you. I can't afford food. Good night. Cappy, I'm sorry, man. I'm not I'm not the breadwinner in this home. My wife is, and she she has always been a world traveler. So we are lucky and blessed to be able to do that. So, but we also do good things for our community of folks as well. But I am going to start on the news now. It is December 29th, 2024, and let's get into your crisis report. Thank you for being here. We will follow up with a live stream on PrepperNow. Won't be a long one. And the video that I was talking about earlier will probably be put up onto the green video maker. For those that don't know what that is, well, check out the links in the description. It's in there, and it rhymes with tumble. All right, friends, here we go. Several verified accounts on X are reporting that sudden removal of their blue check marks without any explanation on X as the butthurtness of Elon and his buddies rages on, because people are saying, hey, maybe we're bringing a few too many of the H-1B people in here. So, as I said last night, at least, like, these people are going through regular means and they're not just coming over illegally. At least there's like a legality to it. So, your thoughts are your thoughts. I think that, we should try to promote domestic employment. But if there's spots where we can get people to come over here and they like our system, believe in the Constitution, and don't want to turn us into a leftist nightmare, maybe they should be considered as well if we have the room. Joe Biden, he says he regrets ending his re-election campaign and would have defeated Donald Trump. No, you wouldn't have. And you'll know why, because the last post I have on this, which basically is a terrible statistic on how crappy we are doing. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to undergo surgery to remove his prostate following complications from a urinary tract infection. That has come and gone. We will have an update on that. United States issued over 1 million non-immigrant visas to Indians for the second year in a row, including a record number of visitor visas. So that's what you're dealing with. We have 1 million coming. GameStop is permanently shutting down in East Bay, California, following a robbery that prompted the decision announced yesterday because, well, it's a ished hole. Experts warn of another Ronademic after the cat announces the first severe case of flu bird showing mutations. President Trump threatens Europe with major tariffs. Said, quote, I told the European Union that they must make up their tremendous deficit with the United States, the greatest country on earth, the best country, the not-so-big deficit country, by the large-scale purchase of our oil and gas, otherwise tariffs all the way. Dr. Leanna Wen, you might remember this C word. I think she was on CNN, and she was one pimping all their stuff. Well, she says that Joe should approve the jabination for the, quote, vulnerable ahead of the inauguration, worrying that Mr. Orange Man Bad might be a little bit more laissez-faire with the medical mandates, but we'll see. Parts of Europe can expect a thick blanket of snow followed by an intense freezing temperature in the early month of January 2025. That also is here. The Northern Hemisphere is getting set up for what is supposed to be a pretty darn major cold blast. As my homeboy Frank knows, I got my Arctic ready. My McMurdo station, I've had that thing for, gosh, it's probably 15 years now. It is the Super Daddy -50 jacket. I hope I don't have to use it. I love it. It is so comfy. It is just a wonderful piece of material. Again, another prep that I have, but hopefully I don't have to use it. U.S. has reported a record number of homeless people in its history. January 2024, 771,480 people were homeless, living in the streets, in shelters, emergency shelters, or in cars, compared to early 2023, when it was about 650,000 homeless people. Again, people wonder, Joe comes up and says, I would have defeated Trump. With stats like this and everybody, jumping over, homeless people, they're everywhere. It kind of tells you where things were going. So, Air Canada flight has made an emergency landing with a broken landing gear at Halifax Airport. That was one of the spate of airline incidences. Last night, a attack was organized against police forces in Bandar Lange, city of Hormuz. Here we go. I don't know what's been going on with Tube lately. It is not me. I've literally got industrial strength internet because of what my wife does. So, I mean, it is what it is. A Sunni Baluch armed group active in the Baluchistan region of Iran claimed responsibility for an incident. Hackers targeted around 10 official websites on Italy on Saturday, including the websites of the Foreign Ministry and Milan's 2 airports, putting them out of action temporarily, country cybersecurity agency said. Pro-Russian hacker group No Name 057 claimed the cyber attack on Telegram, saying it's Italy's Russophobes get a well-deserved cyber response. A spokesperson for Italy's cybersecurity agency said it was plausible that the so-called distributed denial of service, or DDoS, attack could be linked to the pro-Russian group. Syrian Foreign Minister, we will work to stand by women's issues and support their full rights. We believe in the active role of Syrian women in society and trust their capabilities and skills. What about the Christians, bro? Do you think they're worth maybe not being terrorized? Excuse me. Lavrov, there is no doubt that the change that occurred in Syria will lead to certain adjustments regarding the Russian military presence in Syria. Syria is a sovereign state and has the right to enter into or terminate agreements with foreign partners. Medvedev, United States does not need to annex Canada, Greenland, or Britain. Trump and Musk could buy these lands, making them their private properties. I like where he's going with that. Poland is ready to help Ukraine if Slovakia cuts off electricity over a gas dispute. Polish assurances come amid an escalating row over the future of gas transit through Ukraine. Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico made the threat 2 days ago when he said Slovakia would stop supplying electricity that Ukraine urgently needs during network outages if necessary, according to Bloomberg. Poland aims to complete the building of a border wall and seal off its border with Belarus by next summer in order to stop an influx of migrants. Additional infrastructure works along its 400-kilometer eastern border that the government of Donald Tusk announced earlier this year are on track to be completed by the summer of 2025. Poland started building a border wall in late 2021 when the Belarusian president Lukashenko first facilitated the arrival of thousands of migrants to enter Poland in neighboring Baltic states. Financial Times source. Jan Happ, citing local fire department officials, report that during the crash at Muan Airport, many passengers were ejected from the fuselage due to the violent impact. I don't know if you've seen the video. I put it up pretty early on in my Subscribe store on Locals, folks. It was a violent impact. It was definitely, I'm surprised 2 lived, to be honest with you. Many passengers were ejected from the fuselage due to the violent impact. Tragically, most of them are now confirmed dead. Jeju Air Boeing 737-800NG carrying 180, it's actually 181, and 6 crew members suffered a catastrophic belly landing 200 kilometers an hour after a bird struck landing gear. Only 2. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I think they're off. I think this is Amir Sarfati. I think he's off a little bit. Because the video showed something going into the jet engine on the right wing, and then from there, it looked like the landing gear was not fully extended. So I think it was a combination of problems. I'm not absolutely sure, but the video I saw, which is on my Subscribe store on Locals, ding, ding, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you know what I mean? It showed multiple problems. I think this thing was doomed. 2 survivors, seat in the tail section, have been alive. Rescue operations ongoing. Air Canada flight landed in Halifax, broken landing gear, resulting in the wings scraping the runway, causing a fire. Airport temporarily closed. Syrian leader Ahmad al-Sharaa, liberating Syria, secures regional and Gulf stability for 50 years. Elections require a full census and may take 4 years. Constitution drafting will span 3 years for a lasting framework. Translation, I'm the new bro in town. Back off. We'll get her done when I feel like it, but I'm running the show. Russians decided to suspend wheat supplies to Syria. As you may recall, at the time, Bashar al-Assad signed an agreement with Putin, according to which Syria would purchase wheat at a subsidized price from Russia for 50 years. As a result, Ukraine will supply Syria with tons of wheat instead of the Russians. 500 tons of wheat have already been sent to Syria on Zelensky's orders. I'll take that as a yes. And we're back. Okay. Is it just buffering like a mofo? It is. Put a 1 in. I don't know what it's been dealing. And people have been saying it's like numerous channels. It's not just mine. So, not really. Okay, cool. Good. Yeah, this Tehran bazaar shopkeepers shut down in defiance over inflation. 111. Yes. Okay. Syrian jihadist rebels stab Alawites to death with, and I'm just going to stop right there. You can read it. It's on the screen. Yeah, this has been bad. And he asked, "Where's Biden?" And all I can say is that there's major things going on, and I really don't know of anybody else covering it. Have you heard of other people covering this? I don't know. IDF Arabic language spokesman is calling on residents in the neighborhoods of Al Nasser, Al Ula, and Al Murabatin, located in northern Gaza, to evacuate south. This follows the use of the area for firing against Israel. IDF has completed a major operation at Kamal Adwan Hospital, described as a Hamas terror base in Jabalia. Over 240 terror suspects detained, including 15 linked to 10/7/23. Patients and staff evacuated an Indonesian hospital in the raid, which uncovered a bunch of bad stuff. IDF killed 19 militants. Hospital is now out of service. No civilian casualties reported. Operations in Jabalia. This is coming from Amir Sarfati, so I'm sure he's going to say it was the best operation ever. He is pro-Israel. Guardian Angels will resume patrolling New York City subways following the tragic murder of a sleeping passenger burned to death on a train. Texas DPS, Department of, rescued 2 unaccompanied girls, 5 and 9, Eagle Pass. They were abandoned by their coyote who fled back to Mexico. Still going on down there. Head of the Israeli Prime Minister's medical team, Netanyahu, has been diagnosed with grade 3 prostate cancer. They tried to put a community note on X that is not cancer, but it turns out they are still lying. I have heard that it is BS. It is not cancer. I don't know for sure. I don't know if it is or it isn't. I know there'd probably be a good portion of people out there that would like to see it go terminal, but all I can say is, I don't know if it's true or not, but Mediterranean Man and Middle East Spectator, who are not fans of Netanyahu by any stretch of the imagination, they say it is not cancer. And I'm going to kind of go with them because they would be blasting it from all over the place if it was anything nasty like a stage 3. North Korea calls for the toughest U.S. strategy at party meeting. Okay, so they're trying to go, they're wanting to jack up America. Aircraft belonging to JASE Aviation Club crashed into the sea off the coast of Ras Al Khaimah, Emirati, UAE, resulting in the death of the pilot and his co-pilot. See what I mean? Just like air problems everywhere. Another aviation incident reported, this time in Oslo, Norway. KLM plane veered off the runway. Trump says the extension of the debt ceiling by a previous Speaker of the House, a good man and friend of mine, from his past September of Biden administration to June of the Trump administration, will go down as one of the dumbest political decisions made in years. He's obviously ripping McCarthy up. As we covered on PrepperNow last night, January 14th to the 24th is when they can extend and pretend as much as they can. And then from there, supposedly the debt limit is going to be hit. And right as Trump is coming into office, there is going to be a bit of a problem. So if you want some good details on that, we covered it last night on the live stream on PrepperNow. Syrian leader Ahmad al-Shara, Israel was planning to enter Syria, and then Iran would intervene. The Iranian revolution export of the manufacture of Captagen to Syria. Iran's 40-year project fell in 11 days in Syria. Netanyahu successfully underwent prostate surgery, came out of anesthesia, Israeli Prime Minister's office reported. After the operation, Netanyahu was transferred to an underground secure section of the hospital, spent the next few days under the supervision of doctors until he fully recovered. Not that they would be so nefarious, right? All right, yep. It's funny, I get to 175, then all of a sudden the circles start happening on the buffering. Strange. Satellite images show a 200-foot wide strip of mountains disappearing into the sky and trees evaporating for a kilometer in the Syrian city of Tartus. This might be what my video is about. I'm not going to talk about it further. Jan Happ reports that only 2 survivors of the Jeju Air Flight 2216 out of 175 passengers and 6 crew members, 2 alive out of 181. President Aliyev, Azerbaijani Airlines plane shot down for ground fire. Russia attempted to cover up the truth about the plane crash for the first 3 days. All we heard from Russia was absurd claims. Plane deliberately sent to Aktau, or it wasn't an objective choice. There are various speculations. Some believe the plane was intentionally redirected by ground services in Grozny because it had already become uncontrollable. There was a high probability that the plane would crash into the sea, which would have facilitated cover-up attempts and allowed the so-called bird strike theory to be presented as the primary explanation. You know, I have seen on other channels saying that Azerbaijan president was kissing Putin's butt, saying they came clean and it was all due to those terrible Ukrainians sending UAVs. I don't know. I don't know. And that's the thing about all of this. Every single thing I get, and why I honestly do this, I want you to see both sides. I don't really have skin in the game for either one. What I want is for war to stop. War is destructive. It is the worst of humanity. I don't want it to go on. And I want you to know that both sides say and do things, and you're in the middle of 5th gen war happening all around you. And you need to prepare accordingly. That is literally all I care about. None of this is going to matter to you unless you understand that everything is manipulation and trying to get you to one side or the other. All I can say is just take everything with a grain of salt, and that's why I provide both sides. That's why I'd get mad at that Eric El Toros guy. I get all pissed off when I'd show Israel's side. It's like, I want to show Israel's side. I want to show Gaza's side. I want to show Ukraine's side. I want to show Russia's side. I want to show Taiwan's side. I want to show China's side, not because I like either one, because when you look at both sides, you can go, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. You're not going to get a full picture unless you have the full picture. All right, back to the broadcast. Israel is considering remaining in southern Lebanon beyond the 60 days stipulated by the ceasefire agreement, citing the slow deployment of the Lebanese army, presence of significant Hezbollah weapons and infrastructure. Saudi media Al Arabiya reports that 4 airstrikes carried out Salif district, north of Al Hodaydah, northern Yemen, by the U.S. coalition against Houthi targets. According to the sources, it is one of the strikes targeted a Houthi base near the Ras Isa oil port. Pro-Pakistan accounts call for military action against Afghanistan. Tensions are escalating online as pro-Pakistan social media accounts advocate for aggressive military action against Afghanistan. These calls include demands for the Pakistani military to invade Afghan territory, establish a 30-kilometer buffer zone along the border, and neutralize Afghanistan's military assets. Zoran Milanovic has been reelected as the president of Croatia. Another Jeju airline plane had the exact same landing gear issues moments ago in South Korea. However, plane turned back safely, no injuries reported. South Korean Army's Joint Chiefs of Staff requested an arrest warrant against South Korean President Yoon on sedition charges. That's a breaking one. Another Boeing in South Korea had problems with its chassis. Korean agency Yonhap commented, saying a Jeju air flight operating in South Korea on Monday returned to its departure airport due to the same landing gear problem reported with a participation of another aircraft, same model, day before. Another plane from the same company, the same American manufacturer, it's called Boeing, with the same symptoms yesterday as the Korean Muan airport. In addition, the day before, another Boeing flew in Norway. I guess that's the Oslo one. As you can see, there's just all kinds of like plane problems the last 72 hours. I don't know what's going on, but it's been bad. Authorities of the South Caucasus will inspect all Boeing 737-800 after the crash from one problems with a landing gear on the other side. Officials have confirmed that all the plane's 175 passengers and 4 crew members were killed in the Muan plane crash. 2 flight attendants miraculously survived. They were in the very back, strapped into those things, and you see them in the back, and they somehow made it. Contrary to popular reports, Netanyahu has not been diagnosed with prostate cancer. That is that's Middle East Spectator. He would freaking announce it from the rooftops if Netanyahu had cancer. So I'm going to go with him and say that it's not true that he has cancer. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned congressional leaders that the federal government will reach the national debt limit as early as January 14th unless Congress acts or her department takes extraordinary measures to prevent default. As he said, Granny's last dance. Israeli Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi says that this is a long war, and I cannot say that we see its end. So, the whole Israel, and it's all winding down. I can go back to my Dancing with the Stars. Sorry, brother. It's going to keep going. After the high prices we've paid, we are also seeing results. Hamas's military arm has been defeated. Hezbollah has been completely defeated. The way to defeat Hezbollah is a real victory, a long-term victory, which means a lot of civilians here, a lot of tourism here, that there will be restaurants and cafes here, and that people will go for bike rides, and that agricultural here, everything will prosper in northern Israel. They weren't planning on settlements. Fighting all along the border and operations are also taking place far away from Israel. That is Yemen and Iran. Halevi also said that Israel's security situation in the occupied Golan Heights is much better for now after the fall of Assad. That's according to the Times of Israel. Israel is looking into mobilizing Navy to impose naval blockade on Houthis in Yemen. IDF warships and submarines are equipped for remote operations. Israel is boosting intelligence collection in Yemen in cooperation with friendly intel agencies, report says. IDF estimates Houthis will try to launch daily missiles and or drone attacks on Israel in the coming week. I would agree with that. The Houthis are very different than Hezbollah or Gaza. I mean, they gave the Saudis one HE double hockey sticks at a time. They are like cave dwellers with really stealthy, nasty tendencies. They are embedded, to say the least. So anybody thinking that it's going to be a Hezbollah type thing, and the problem is that Yemen is way down south. Like Gaza is attached to Israel, Hezbollah is attached to Israel, Syria is attached to Israel, not Yemen. Yemen is way south by hundreds of kilometers, and they're not going to be easy to remove. And you could very well see, I'm not calling it, but I'm saying it's a potential. Israel just says, F it, throws down the gauntlet, and goes down and goes into Yemen. Increasing cases of HMPV, which is metapneumovirus infections, pneumo as in pneumonia, among humans have been reported in Ghana. The bug causes symptoms similar to a cold, flu, or the Rona, has also spread to the U.S. Department of Ag authorized the importation of a live AMPV jibidab, of course, because that's how we fix everything. Ukraine agrees to security guarantees not connected with NATO in order to end the war with Russia. That is according to Andriy Melnik. NATO is developing a strategy to respond to potential destructive hybrid attacks from Russia. Strategy will include a military measures, said the alliance's Assistant Secretary General for Innovation, Hybrid Operations, and Cybersecurity, James Apatrai. And Taliban masses infantry near Pakistan border amid dangerous, unprecedented escalation between two countries over the disputed northern Waziristan region. Russia's Minister Sergei Lavrov has stated that Russia won't accept Trump's peace plan, which has been based on postponing Ukraine's NATO membership for 20 years and deploying NATO or European peacekeeping forces in a demilitarized zone between Russia and Ukrainian armies. Russia will lift the moratorium on the deployment of medium and shorter range missiles with nuclear warheads as a result of the INF treaty from which the U.S. has withdrawn in 2019, according to Lavrov. Mike Johnson is expected to be reelected as Speaker of the House. Cool. Or not. Denmark, France, Lithuania provide Kiev with 150 million euros for the purchase weapons for Ukraine. Following several incidents recently of Russian China-linked ships damaging submarine cables in the Baltic Sea, Prime Minister of Latvia, Ieva Siliņa, has stated that they may soon begin seizing ships of the Russian Shadow Fleet in order to defend critical infrastructure. And awesome, 18% increase in homelessness in 1 year, according to the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Joe, you wonder why you got your butt handed to you. It is because of stats like that. Woo! And that, my friends, is your crisis report for December 29th, 2024. I'm going to go on over and check and see if the video I uploaded to PrepperNow has still got the old yeller, which is my affectionate way of saying that we got the demo, if you will, is in the it's not going to create any financial love for you. And whenever that happens, they also go after your vids. If you guys know Prepper Nation, John, he is demonetizing his channel because he's had such a heck of a time, if you will. So, I don't know. I heard he was changing things a couple months ago. I sent him a note. We've talked in the background before. I talked to, channels. And I talked to him in the background. I was just like, good luck, bro. I don't know. I don't like infighting or anything like that. I like to stay peaceful to all the prepper community because we need everybody prepping, to be honest with you. Because as you've seen tonight, this is not going to get better. Listen to Herzi Halevi. The war is not going to get better. It is going to get worse. It's going to get more foggy. It's going to get more froggy, if you will. So, all right, friends, hit that like button. Do the subscribe thing if you are new here. We're almost to 500 subscribers on PrepperNow.substack.com. Here on the tube, every day I lose a couple subs, whatever. This one I really don't care about. I'm just like going for it, and I do things over here like this because, well, this is the information I think you need to have, and I can't really worry about where things go. This channel has never been loved by Doob, so we just kind of keep chopping our feet and doing what we're doing. Whatever may come. So, as for the Prepper Now video, I'm going to load that up to Rumble, and you guys can go and check that out over there, and I'll go live stream on Prepper Now here in about 5 minutes after I find some stuff to talk about. So, other than that, friends, God bless. Stack, stock, stick to the plan. Keep having the soul in your powder dry, and I appreciate you coming by. The Crisis Report by Prepper Now. We will see you